will usually go no further than the crowd. The woman who walks alone is likely to find herself in places no one has ever been. The words of Albert Einstein. Don't let anyone speak for you. You don't rely on others to fight for you. Of course, Michelle Obama actually said that. Good evening and welcome to another edition of Women on Wheels here on Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. It is a weekly digest that talks about women in our society, especially in this part of the world, Africa in general. It is a patriarchal society, and it's because of these wisdom to the feet to, come up with a program like this to discuss the ills, the problems, the challenges facing women in this part of the world and how best to help the women grow. My name is Taiwo Baruwa. This program is brought to you courtesy Toyota Nigeria Limited. Lagos, it is a wet evening in Lagos, Nigeria, the coastal city, witnessing downpour tonight across the metropolis. And so it is quite busy in most parts of the metropolis as we speak, not because there is an impediment, but because it is raining. It is still raining in some parts, drizzling in some other parts. But whatever the case is, know that it is wet out there. Some areas are flooded, so you need to navigate through the water slowly. Okay, so please, let's keep it that way. It will certainly get better. You just continue to, stick to the flow, stick to your lanes and obey the traffic managers. My guest on the show today is a practicing social worker and a psychologist with over 17 years of great track record in people, business, and national development, particularly urban poor and urban indigenous communities. She is also a passionate researcher, a development expert and strategist, certified substance use disorder and addiction prevention and treatment practitioner, accredited SME, MSME consultant, accredited management consultant, certified trainer, and a public speaker. She runs Bountiful Options Consulting, a business development and management consulting firm in partnership with other seasoned professionals. She is also a serial entrepreneur, CEO, Bountiful Event, a one-stop event company, Bountiful Options Limited, a consulting firm, and the CEO, Bounty Pantry and online farm supermarket. She serves humanity as the founder of Bountiful Foundation. Her vision is to make better individuals that will create better communities, nations, and subsequently create a better world that assures the much desired global peace and, of course, better women. I decided to add that to it. You want to know who my guest is? Dr. Bountiful-Taiwo Adelanwa is my guest on Women on Wheels tonight. Good evening to you.
Good evening.
How are you today?
I'm fine. How about you?
Very well, thank you.
You look beautiful.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I mean, running through your profile here, I mean, it appears, very interesting. And of course, I have no doubt that you're the right person to actually, churn out some advice to women tonight. Tell me more about Taiwo Adelanwa.
Okay, Bountiful is first and foremost a balanced woman. Balanced woman, I mean, business-wise, career-wise, family-wise, faith-based. I am one of the few privileged women that could combine all of this.
All-round
woman, yeah. I prioritize my family, I prioritize my career, I prioritize my mental health, my happiness. Social work found me. I started social work when I didn't know what it was called. My first degree is in microbiology.
Okay.
Those days when you're brilliant, you want to be a doctor, that's the auto run. And then at a point, I knew there was more to my life than just doing medicine and all of that. And I wanted more. And I just like to just volunteer, do community work. And I was just doing that. I didn't know what it was called. I don't know what it's called, social work, as at that time.
Yeah.
About 20 years ago. And then at first, we're trainers. Some people call us motivational speakers. I say, no, don't call me motivational speaker. I have more to myself than just be a motivational speaker. I'm not going to lead you to go and jump into the river and all of that. So, okay, we're certified trainers. Oh, yeah. I wasn't just only training. I wanted to cause a change.
Yes.
So what change am I looking at? And then, okay, I like to do community work. I like to help community improve productivity. And I found, okay, I like to help. Okay, you want to help. Can you help people? In this side of the world,
yes,
economic empowerment was first thing you want to see. You can't help somebody who cannot feed himself, who is disadvantaged, already at risk. They are more vulnerable to the abuser and everything. And okay, fine. Okay, economic empowerment. How do you help people to build their businesses? How do you help the woman just out there?
Yes.
I did an analysis, and there was a study I did some time ago. And you see, a lot of these women, they'll think they have spiritual problem, business is not growing. No, it's the overhead. When we take trainings for these women and we do a practical session and say, calculate how much you make per day and calculate how much you spend per day, it's not sustainable. It's not, because the overhead can't meet up. So they can say, oh, wow, that woman that has grocery store, not supermarket, I'm talking of Yasikira Yagani that is selling biscuit down the road. Over a dozen biscuits, maybe the profit is just 200 naira. And how many dozen is she's going to sell per day? And then the son will eat, the daughter will eat, the friends will steal, rats will eat, and then they cannot sustain life.
A dozen is actually 15 naira.
You see, so then maybe a dozen of milk too is 20 naira. So they can now see that it's not even just going to, I'm not saying you should not pray. Don't go and waste time and stay in church and go to prayer mountain. Can we find how this will work? Another study I led at the point also made us to see the microcredit scheme. Where we borrow the scheme from, it's good for businesses. You get microcredit, low interest loan, then you can buy when it's cheap and then sell when it's more expensive, make more profit. True. Or the woman's flying Akara at the junction can now, instead of buying one car from the woman there, you can go to the market, bigger market, and buy larger volume and keep and make more profit. Sure. But that's not what we're doing here. You're taking that, our women are taking that loan and putting it in a draining basket. That business is not sustainable. The capital took a flight in the first place because the business was not sustainable. And they take that loan and put it, and then they go through all sort of dehumanizing experiences. And then they cannot pay the loan. And then the husband will be like, look at your life, you cannot fund the business. Let that man come and run the business now. That man goes to work and come back. So you begin, that story also made me understand that, look, it's not like they cannot take it's not like they are not responsible to pay back the loan, but it's not just sustainable. So now we were able to train women to say, okay, look at it. This loan does not fit you. Look at the one that fits you. Can you take this? Can you avoid the loan? Can you look at your lower hanging fruit? So then I began to come to a point in my career where it was beyond passion. I want to become a professional at what I do, and then I found a capping for it, social work. Yeah, and when I started practicing social work, and I like whatever I do, I like to be a professional. When I say I know it, I know it. There are principles that governs the world. Every industry you find, there's a principle that rules that industry. So I wanted to learn the principles of social work. So I went back to school, diversified my career, and I did my postgraduate. I did master social work, And then in course of practice too, you feel like you're helping somebody, and then they're not yielding. This is not good for you, and that person is not moving, and they're like, what is wrong with this person? So I begin to look for mental processes. I begin to look for motivator behaviors. I begin to look for, then at times also I need to provide psychosocial support. I don't want to be another problem in my industry.
Let me take you up on something you mentioned earlier, talking about you being one of the lucky women out there, and I want you to expatiate more on, being one of the lucky ones out there. Shouldn't it be that women should have their own voice out there also, as a mother, as a wife, as an entrepreneur, as an employee? I want my voice to be heard also. I want to stay in control. I want to stay in charge. Isn't this possible?
Okay, I'll start with, let me give a faith-based explanation. We have grace in different proportion.
Okay.
So let's now bring it to real life situation. We're not the same personality.
Okay.
And an opportunity, yes, time and chance happen to them all, but opportunities do not happen to everybody. I'm a privileged woman. I just said it to a friend this morning. My greatest asset is not in physical or tangible things. It's my intangible asset. My freedom is that I can be whatever I want to be per time is my greatest asset in the positive sense. So if I want to be in my 12 market and I want to wear my rubber shoes, I can change and wear it. Then it's not like opportunity comes and they say, oh, you are not qualified. By the grace of God, I've been able to take my career to the highest level of learning. So it's not like you ask me, because I was trying to apply for an international license and say, you need this, oh, I have it. Like, you're opening your file, I have it. You need this, I have it. I've been able to do that. If I want to play, I can play. I'm a very, very playful person. I like to play. I can play. And I also play about my assignment. You don't have to bring a child to life if you're not ready to do parenting. So I prioritize my children. I prioritize my family. I see my husband as an assignment. I prioritize taking care of him. And it's mutual respect. It allows me to be who I want to be. He just came home now, when about the time I'm coming to the studio. It's time for his dinner. He has to have his dinner before it's too late. But I have to be in the studio. Oh, so that, you know what, you can just fix your dinner. This is soup. This is this. I have all of them processed together. But he has to make what he has to eat is about. And he went to kitchen and do that. Some men won't do that. Some men will. That woman has to stay. And no matter how fast you are at your career, womanhood will slow you down. There's no how. There are times in our lives, there are phases in our lives that we have to let go to raise our children. So
are there ways we can work around this womanhood slowing you down? Because, time is of essence in everything we do.
Okay, thank you. So what works for me is, one, finding your assignment. Who are you? Can you define yourself? If you permit me to say it in my local language, that's my watchword. That's what keeps me going every day. I tell myself, you know where you're going. Like, I'm on the mainland. When you go up by bus stop, Agege bus stop, you see people watching television at night. You know where they sell TVs? There are more in those days where people will stay and watch Indian film, or maybe there is Arsenal match. They will stay outside and watch Arsenal match. If you have a flight to catch up, if you have where you're going, you will stay. So I know ahead that not everything is permissible for me. I can't do what everybody is doing. So I have where I'm going. So it doesn't matter what I'm. So challenges will come, and I tell everybody to know that those challenges are part of the package. You can't take things in isolation. So when those challenges comes, I just put them in the bag. It's part of I just put them in the bag and then run with it. Where I'm going is where I'm going. Some people don't have that energy. But like I say, would that one help? Wait till you get. Go find them. People don't change. We only get matured at who we are. I have my weaknesses too. I cannot change. But then I can improve on my weaknesses and I can maximize my strength. So who are you? What's your purpose? What's your assignment? What drives you? What do you want? So sometimes our women doesn't even know what they want. Some people live in the shadow of their husband. They don't even have, you don't even know where you're going. And then you're complaining that one man is not leading you well. Who doesn't know where you're going to? Who is also trying to figure out his life? I know where I'm going. I am clear about that.
Okay, so now let's look at, for a lot of women that do not even have an understanding of who they are, but they have potentials in them. You have an understanding of psychology, sociology, and all of these. Tell me, where do we even start for people like this?
Okay, so number one, do your SWOT analysis. What drives you? Like I always say, there's an aspect of psychology that will say that there's no bad human being. There's good in every human being. It's circumstance that define us. And when I want to prove that to people, I say, see, that your mother, that is a winch. It's the same fantastic grandmother to the children of our daughters.
True. So
what changed? It's just the position. It's where we found ourselves. So for these women, everybody carries something. You may not be at my pace. If you're not going to be a bicycle, you can be a car. If you can't be a car, you can be a truck. If you can't be a truck, you might be maybe a yacht. If you're not a yacht, maybe you can be a plane, an aeroplane. If you're not an aeroplane, you might be an helicopter.
So what happens if you're able to identify who you are, your area of strength, and then you're boxed in one corner, like the story of many women in this part of the world? What happens?
What is boxing you? Okay. So, like I said earlier, challenges will come. Did anybody told you they are having it smooth and they arrived at destination without itches or glitches? I don't think so. So we need to know that these challenges are part of the package. So you know where you're going, you know what you want, and something's obstructing, you remove it.
Okay.
Either by force or by coercion or by managing your influencers, or by coming down to your husband and say, oh, God, I need help, or by seeking help. See, we must not downplay the fact that you can seek help outside of ourselves. What kind of friends do you keep? We have different reasons. You should have different friends for different reasons. The day you want to play, have friends that are players. The day you want to ball, have friends that are ballers. The day you want to kabash, have friends that know how to kabash. The day you want to go to tajud, have friends that knows how to go to tajud. And the day you want to do your accountability, have your accountability partner, your life partners that you can say, okay, this is what I've done, this is what I'm doing now, and I can help you look at your life. So if anything is boxing you, box it.
All right. If anything is boxing you, box it. I have been speaking with Dr. Bountiful-Taiwo Adelanwa. This is Women on Wheels here on Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. I am going to hit the nail on the head, but you would have to answer me after this break. In this part of the world, the major challenge of most women is parenting, motherhood, being a wife, and to some people, you're a wife. Your place is in the kitchen. Your place is in the other room, and you should remain there as long as you want to stay married. If you do not want to stay, remember that we place premium on these kind of things in this part of the world. What are your thoughts? I'll be right back.
My people follow others, then we choose Toyota. If not comfort and style, Toyota get Ambogu. Step back from car, the day and the day easy to maintain. I drive go west, I journey go south, travel go east, my tour go north. My shows is many Toyota motor for road. Motor is strong and it they reliable. Toyota. Toyota. Hey, just stand getting down for Nigeria.
This our market don't turn wahala. Everywhere just scatter. Peace of mind don't call, kuku day. Small rain like this, everywhere don't dirty. How person go take sell market for this kind place? You sef dey feel am abi?
Mama T, better to read land. Platinum Shopping Complex for job. Now the new levels, the shop stand gidigba. Everywhere clean, lights day, security now 247, and correct customers go they come buy things. Just drop 7.5 million naira first. Make you use them secure your own shop and your own future.
Time they go. Don't let your mates buy all the shops finish. Go www.platinumlagos.com now or call 0916-997-2284 or 0916-997-2287 now.
Now, Mama T, you don't go rush pay.
Now who do they carry last, my sister?
We're on the home stretch on today's edition of Women on Wheels here on Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. My guest is Dr. Bountiful-Taiwo Adelanwa, the CEO, Bountiful Event, and of course, a couple of other things, right? Conglomerates. All right, then. She's still very much with me in the studio. So I asked you a question before we went on that break.
Yeah, so back to your question. Like I said, there will always be challenges. To achieve your goal, there will be challenges. I like to train with the fact that for all our actions and inactions, there are consequences. And there are both negative and positive consequences. And you cannot take anyone in isolation. You can't take the good in something and not take the bad in it. So the fact that, excuse me, I want to live on my purpose, I want to keep my eye on the ball, I want to keep to my goal, I want to achieve my goal. Yes, do I get into problem? Yes, I get into trouble. My husband, maybe not always, but in-laws, maybe sometimes they'll be like, that husband is allowing her too much of inch. Oh, these are men conversation. What is she doing here? Oh, why is she everywhere? Why is she this? Oh, her husband allowed her. It's possible. So, do I also sometimes empathize with my husband? Oh, yeah, I pity that man sometimes. I know he might get that kind of conversation. Yeah, I don't know. He has never told me, but let's assume it does that. So for many men that allows their wives beyond the other room, beyond the kitchen, they may get that. And we must also consider their ego too. We must understand that these men will also want to stand up in public and feel like a man too. So the balance is from the woman to make the man feel good. And also is on the man to choose. Do you want, so like I say, in counseling, choose what you want. If you know you cannot manage a high flyer, don't marry one. Don't be the problem to the glory you envied or the glory that attracted you. You like the woman because she's outspoken, because she's a career woman, because she's high flyer, because she's brilliant, because she's hardworking. And then you marry her, finish, you're now saying, no matter how, I'm still your man. Who is compared to? She's not contesting with you. You are the man. In fact, I don't want to be the man.
Tell me the serious challenge. I mean, the challenges you have encountered, in managing your home, working, everything together.
Okay, so I'm even going through one now. So this is it. Some people will label you wrongly, not because you're bad, but because they can't stand you. Maybe they are threatened by you or by your success. And then the one that people who don't even know you, they've not had experience with you, and they say, oh, that girl, oh, she's so rude. Oh, she's a rebel. Oh, she can, And your question is, have you experienced me? So, yeah, you must be able to take in criticism. Leadership will say, take in the corrections and fly with it and just check yourself. So when you do your own sincere, objective analysis and you feel, oh, I have not wronged here, or I've not done this, then you know that's the person that has a problem. Like, we all have our weaknesses.
Sure.
I have a personality. I carry a presence. I can't be in a place and you will know that Bountiful is there. I was on a panel this morning, earlier today, and they were like, oh, Dr. Bountiful, are you there? It was a Zoom call.
Okay.
And I was there. I just mute myself. And nobody knew I was there. They didn't even check if I was there.
Okay.
And somebody who know me there said, if Bountiful is in, you will know she's in. And then I had to laugh like, Of course, 2 hours into the meeting, you will know Bountiful is there. That's my presence. But I now consciously, like I joke with my friends, I say I use a step-down transformer for my brain. I consciously slow down. I consciously take a backseat sometimes. You have the idea. Sometimes some people are talking and they are talking rubbish. You know that what they're saying is not correct. Sometimes you just let it slide. Even Yoruba says that a little bit of foolishness to your wisdom is important. I got there, so sometimes I try to play low. But when I've done all this, my background check, and I can see that you're the one, please, it's your choice. I mean, if I choose to improve on myself and you choose not to, that's not my fault. That's your fault. But sometimes we also respect other people's limits. Respect that the fact that you can do so much and somebody else cannot do that much, you must also make them feel comfortable around you. I remember sometimes in year 2000, I was in the leadership academy and I didn't know I was stopping the class. And then I raised up my hand, I was not allowed to speak. So I was like, why? And I didn't. And so one of the coaches later told me that I was already losing mark.
Wow.
Losing marks because I was always raising my hands.
Okay.
That leadership is influence. When you know it, I don't want raising your hand every time. Tell the person next to you. You don't have to be the one.
Oh, wow.
I learned that and it's actually stick to me since.
Do you have a female role model?
Oh, yes, I do.
Tell me in 30 seconds.
Number one on the list, Osai Halile. Osai Halile is my mentor. I've worked with her. She's a phenomenal woman. I have Dr. Mrs. Kumbi Wurola.
Okay.
I have Star Joko. These are people, in fact, Kumbi and Joko are people that I admired from afar.
Okay.
I can't even, 20 years ago, I can't even cook. I felt they would not like me. I felt I was not in a form they could accept me. But I mirror their lives. I look at what they do. I look at how they've been impacting. I look at steps they were taking. And I was doing the same thing in my lives. And today I'm happy. I have also Sister Bisi Adebayo.
Okay.
I have Stella Okoro. I think she's Mrs. Okonjina. I don't know.
Okay.
Osaji. Yeah.
Okay.
These are people that, one or two of them I've worked with them.
All right, before we wrap it up on the show, in 30 seconds, what will be your advice to women out there on how to grow, on how to get better?
1, find yourself. 2, don't be scared by the challenges. They're part of the package. 3, box what boxes you. Thank you.
Challenges are part of the package, and of course, you need to box what boxes you to unbox yourself. This is where we wrap it up on today's edition of the show. I must say a very big thank you to you, Dr. Bountiful-Taiwo Adelanwa, for coming on the program. And yes, this is where we wrap it up. Maximum thanks to the entire crew. This program has been brought to you by Toyota Nigeria Limited, and it has been produced by Ajose, Oluwale, Iduwadiyemi, and Funmilade Akingbagbohun. Maximum thanks to Okoyemi Shodunke of the social media unit. My name is Taiwo Baruwa. The program makes a return next week, Tuesday at 7:30 as usual. Until then, enjoy the rest of your rainy evening, Lagos.